What's going on, guys? Kulprit here, and today we're going to take a look at the fourth map that DICE has made available to us on the CTE environment, that map being Hammerhead. This map is by far my favorite map of this DLC, and to be honest with you, I have great hopes that this could be one of my favorite maps of Battlefield 4. I just really enjoyed it. It's a very well balanced map in my opinion for infantry. Basically what happens here is, again, a recurring theme on this DLC. We have the big base that's kind of infantry only to some degree, but in this map it very much is. You can easily block out armor, and there's no air assets that can get in there. You can block out the armor by blowing up the ice, as I'm sure you've seen in other videos, and once that's done, armor cannot get in this base. This base is pretty big, so you get, once the doors are kind of blown up, armor's not getting in. You have a little battle there, but it's actually in the infantry's favor, in my opinion, against the armor. Very fun. I did that quite a bit. I don't play engineer that much, but I love playing engineer in the gameplay I had. Choppers can still be very frustrating in this map. Once you're outside, there's a big frozen lake, so just imagine you're completely exposed there. Plus, you know, very openness, and then the snow-covered ground makes you easily spottable, makes you an easy target. So you're going to take your pounding from air assets, but there are enough tree cover and things, and just the way the map is designed, you can easily get from place to place if you really wanted to. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just stay on the B and C flags, which are the inside flags in that little sub base, and knock them outside. And that's the beauty of this map to me, is that inside, that infantry only kind of underground base, that secret military base, is very important. It's very central. It's very important to winning this map. In the other three maps, I felt like that little base was kind of an aside. It was important, but you could lose the map even if you control that base the whole time. I feel like on this map, if you control that base and you control B and C, you're gonna have a very good time branching out and taking the other flags. And I feel like if you control the base, the sub base, for the most time on this map, you're gonna win the match. And that's great, because that makes that infantry area very important. And like I said, some of you guys are gonna want to just stay in there. Sometimes I will. I'm gonna just want to stay in there all day, fight infantry versus infantry, and you can get this feeling like you're doing a good deed for your team. You're helping the winning cause. Whereas on the maps, Whiteout especially, you feel like if I stay in here the whole time, I might win these flags, but I'm not going to help win the overall match. That's a big flaw with some of these maps, and that's not a flaw with Hammerhead here. Like I mentioned, there's two flags in the base. That's B and C flags, if I remember correctly. They're far enough apart inside to make them both individual objectives. It's not just like two flags clumped together, kind of how Hangar 21 is. The two flags are kind of relatively close up on the Titan. I'm trying to think of the other maps. It kind of makes it like it's just one big objective. In this one, luckily, that underground base is fairly large enough, and it's bisected by the frozen river, that if you're capping C and the enemy takes B, you can cap C and you can get your move onto B, and you're going to kind of clash right in the middle, and it makes it very interesting, and just kind of longer battles. And that's what I really loved about it. There's enough space to move, there's enough room to operate, but you know, there's enough routes. It's very indoors, it's very CQB, but it's not going to be as much choke pointing, because there's a lot of alternate routes. There's just enough verticality to kind of keep it interesting, but it's also controlled enough so that you can kind of be aware and kind of keep track of your threats, and you can know where they might be coming from. Whereas I felt like from Hangar 21, it was just too much verticality to kind of track all your threats and stuff, and a lot of times you're getting surprised and you're dying rather quickly. From the infantry base, again, I'm harking on this infantry base because to me it's very important to the map, and obviously it's very important from my perspective as an infantry player. You can easily influence D flag, F flag, and A flag really pretty easily. Now, to go and get the D flag and F flag, you have to put yourself at quite a bit of risk, because you have to cross the frozen river. Relatively close, but again, there's a very good chance that you're going to get picked off by air assets as you're crossing that frozen river. And if the enemy controls these flags, I believe there's armor assets that spawn there. Of course, that can all change from the CTE, but there's a good chance running out from the infantry base to go and get D or F flags, you're going to run into either a hover tank or get chewed up by a chopper. So just be careful doing that. Maybe you want to bring some smoke along. Now, the A flag is really interesting to me. You can, again, run out of the base, and you have it about the same length of a run, if not a little longer, to A flag. But the beauty of this is you run through this pretty cool like shipping pier area that has a lot of shipping containers. Definitely reminds me of some no-share canals. I wonder if we're going to get TDM over there, perhaps. I don't know. I would obviously say most of the infantry modes will probably take place in this base, but it'll be interesting to see if DICE mixes it up and kind of tips their hat to us for no-share canals that so many people played so much in Battlefield 3, because it's definitely got that no-share feel to me. A lot of containers, a lot of tight little areas, and then this big warehouse that you can fight in as well. Again, the main area of the sub base for me was equally divided by this frozen river, and that was kind of a nice asset, and that's where the armor can get in. And even if the armor can't get in, the armor tends to kind of sit at the end of this long river there and shoot in, so you do have to deal with him, or he can chew you up while you're running across, but there's enough cover for you to get across there as well. But that kind of bisects the two flags, and the beauty of it is that again, you have these two distinct areas, the kind of the high kill or multi-kill vehicle, whatever that thing's called, that little testing area, and then the other side seems to be like a generator area and stuff. Very unique, very original design, a lot of interesting cover and assets and things, you know, things we've seen before, but they're just not arranged in the same old situations. A lot of cover to duck by if you get surprised by somebody in a gunfight, but the thing is, it's not like perfect cover. It's not you can just duck behind this big box. You might have to duck in this little cubby hole where part of you is exposed, so if the guy's a good shot, he's still going to get you. I like that. It rewards you to move slowly, move smartly, move as a squad, all good things. If you can't tell, I had a lot of fun playing this map. The pace of the fighting is great, it's pretty fast in there, yet with the 3-lane kind of layout, it's simple enough to get from one flag to the next, and kind of, again, assess your threat, know where the enemy's going to be, but there are lots of alternate cross routes, as I've mentioned. All in all, I really enjoyed this map. Like I said, it's by far my favorite map of the DLC. I would rank that number 1. Number 2 right now would probably be Giants of Karelia, and then we would have Hangar 21. Hangar 21's a contender for number 2, and then Whiteout to me was the last one. It just wasn't very interesting for me. Definitely was not my flavor, if you will, being an infantry guy. But by far, Hammerhead was my favorite. I had a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see how this map plays on other game modes. I think there's lots of potential there. As I mentioned, the A flag with the containers for TDM, maybe domination. But then there's a big part of me that wants all that stuff to be inside the base too, because I find that very interesting. I believe DICE is going to let us take a look at Rush on this map, on the CTE, which, you know, they've kind of focused a little bit more on Rush, supposedly is what they're saying with this round of with the DLC. So I'm very interested to see how this map plays in that respect. I have a feeling you're going to be outside a little bit more, a lot more exposed, so that'll be interesting. But by all means, I really enjoy this map. For me, this is the snow map I was looking for. I very much enjoy it. It gives me that snow challenge. Again, like, you're very exposed, you're kind of easy to spot. Lots of long-range engagements while you're outside. As an infantry guy, you're going to want that AR-160, you know, type weapon where you can get long range. I'm not big on the SAR and those really long weapons, because now that the lessened damage that we're going to get shortly makes it very hard to kill anything with those weapons. But then when you get inside, you're going to see a lot of PDWs and high rate of fire weapons, of course. So I love that choice. You know, that choice you have to make. I'm going to traverse from A to the base, but I want that long-range weapon while I'm outside. But man, if I have an AR-160 or something like that, even, you know, one of the slower firing weapons, say the M416, which is one of my favorite weapons, you're going to be at a detriment when you get in there and you're against the AEKs or MPXs or things like that, the ACWR. You're going to be at a detriment when you're inside, because these guys are obviously geared to that. That's a great decision. I love when they just drive people to make those decisions. I'm really looking forward to see how the strategy of this map shakes out. So once again, guys, this one is my favorite. Which one is your favorite of the DLC thus far? Which one is your least favorite? Again, I mentioned that was Operation Whiteout for me. All in all, this kind of Hammerhead to me has made me very excited for this DLC. I was kind of meh overall on this DLC, as I've told you previously. Now I'm very excited to get this DLC. I am very excited to replay this map. Probably the only one that I'm actually really excited to replay. Again, I'm intrigued by the Hangar 21, as I mentioned. Giants Karelia, pretty interesting, but I'm not like, I want to play that again. I think as I'm done with this video, I'll actually hopefully jump on and play some more Hammerhead before they take it off, because this is actually Sunday. They're supposed to switch again, or Saturday, excuse me, they're supposed to switch. I didn't get to play last night, so I snuck a couple rounds on this morning. I'm glad I did. I'm pretty excited, if you can't tell from the tone of my voice. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon, guys. Take care.